My name is Adrian Casio, and I'm with College Connect Tempe. Today, we're going to be talking about planning and paying for college. And I'd like to thank you all for joining. We're going to have one of our College Connect advisors, Roger Lurie, who is also a college and career specialist at Tempe High. He is going to be presenting today's topic. So just a few things to get us set up for today. Just so you all know, this presentation is going to be recorded, so if you miss something, you'll have a chance to be able to view the recording. We will have these posted on our website, collegeconnecttempe.org. And just a few things about College Connect if you're new to us. College Connect, we offer a few different opportunities and services. One of the things that we offer, as you see at the bottom middle of the screen, is one-on-one advising. So all of our services are free. If you are seeking more assistance, more support one-on-one, especially after this presentation, you can always go on our website to request an appointment, talk to an advisor virtually, and get the support you need. We always offer workshops, presentations ongoing throughout the year. So this is just one of many that we're offering. There's some incentives for joining. So, we give out some prize giveaways at the end of the day. We also put your name in a larger raffle to win a $1,000 scholarship that we provide at the end of the school year. Be sure to check out our website because along with making an appointment request, we put a lot of resources on there for you as well. So you'll get a chance to see, other information about in-state colleges, community colleges, universities, even some other tidbits on how to be successful while you're in high school. Just to give you an idea of a few things that we do offer and our one-on-one advising. Yes, our name is College Connect. We also support with career and job readiness as well. So you see, just as an example, resume writing, mock interview, we do career exploration. We'll also help you throughout the whole process preparing for college. So filling out college applications, completing FAFSA, financial aid, looking into scholarships. If you're not sure what you want to do, helping you with program exploration. We have some advisors who can even provide tutoring and doing some scholarship essay writing. So this is an example of a few things that we can offer. A few other things to get us started. We are doing a raffle at the end of this presentation. So what you can do is, if there's a Q&A section, if you want to enter into the raffle, all you have to do is put your name in there and your email address. So we have a way to contact you if you win. Also, as you see that Q&A section, that's where you can ask Roger any questions. At the end of Roger's presentation, there is an opportunity to ask questions. So if you want to type out your question in there, Roger will answer them at that time. And we'll also be sending a follow-up email as well with information and some links. Also a link to take a survey. If you can take that survey at the end, let us know how we did. And so without further ado, I'm going to let you see Roger over here, introduce him. Let's see here. And real quickly, just so you could put a face to the people speaking, this is me. Hello, everybody. I'm here at the Tempe Public Library. Like I mentioned, I help oversee College Connect. You'll see me around at workshops. So let me allow Roger, if you want to share your screen at this point.
Good morning. Did you mention the poll questions, Adrian?
Oh, thank you, Roger. Actually, if you want to let everybody know about the poll question right there.
Yeah, sure. I don't see the Q&A, but I guess in the Q&A there is a link, and we'd like everybody, if you could just take a moment. There's, I believe, 6 questions to a poll. If you can click on the link in the Q&A, and we'll give people just a moment to complete that, and we'll look at the results of it. Adrian, you want me to hold off on sharing my presentation until you bring up the poll results, right?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. So far, we got a couple responses. All right, looks like we got all the responses. So let me share the screen here. I'll take you off for a minute.
All right. So the first question we asked, looks like we have, what, 3 participants? Very good. First question we asked was, is college too expensive? 2 of you said true, 1 false. Well, college, and let me qualify this, there is no true right or wrong answer to these. This is really just opinion seeking. But college is expensive, there's no doubt about it, but there are so many opportunities that I will be talking about today, and in subsequent presentations you'll hear for paying for college. Also, a recent study shows workers with high school diplomas earn about $30,500 a year versus workers with a bachelor's degree earning roughly $49,000 a year. So roughly $19,000 more earned a year by earning a college degree. And think about that over the lifetime of earnings. Second question had to do with whether community colleges are always less expensive. 3 of you, all of you said true. And I want to question that myth because community colleges are not always less expensive. And I'll give you an example. If you applied to Arizona State University and you got the Obama grant or similar grants, for example, like the Lumberjack Award at NAU, or there are some awards at Grand Canyon University and others that pay all of your tuition for 4 years. But the catch with some of those awards, for example, the Obama Scholar at ASU, is you have to enter as a freshman and persist through your college for 4 years. In that particular instance, community college would not be less expensive, but the university would be less expensive. Some of those awards not only will cover all of your tuition, but will provide a residence hall and will provide money for books and for meal plans. Question 3 was, there isn't enough financial aid available. Well, 1 of you said true, 2 of you said false. And I want you to think about this statistic for a moment. For the 2018-2019 school year, students who did not complete FAFSA left $2.6 billion, that's billion with a B, $2.6 billion on the table. There is a lot of financial aid available. Just another anecdotal story to share in that regard is a student I had worked with at Tempe High a couple of years ago. A male student applied for a scholarship for women only and got it. And the reason he got it, he was the only applicant for that scholarship. There is really a lot of financial aid available. All right, question 4, having to squint a little bit to see this. Question 4, college graduates can't find a job. None of you said true, all of you said false. I will admit that the job market is tight right now while we're in the pandemic, but so many doors, so many opportunities will open up with a college degree. And all of the schools that we partner with do offer career services as well. And then question 5, my parents earn too much money, so I won't do FAFSA. Well, 2 of you said that's true. And I would argue that even if you think your parents earn too much money, go ahead and do the FAFSA anyway. For one thing, chances are the high school that you attend is going to ask you and encourage you to do the FAFSA. In fact, I'm having discussions at Tempe High right now for the coming year that we mandate all students do it. But the other reason is that there often are merit-based scholarships, scholarships that aren't really based on how much money your parents earn, but they still want to see a financial statement. They still want to see the results of your FAFSA. So even if you think your parents earn too much, go ahead and do that FAFSA anyway. I'm going to be a junior in high school next year. It's too early to begin planning. I'm glad none of you said true, because there is planning throughout your high school you can do, and we'll talk about that as we segue into the presentation. So thank you for participating in that. And now let me share my PowerPoint. All right. All right. So first thing I'm going to assume for the moment, and perhaps we should have had a poll question to ask this. If we were live, I would have done this by show of hands, but I'm assuming that all of you are enrollees in the Tempe Union High School District. Tempe High, McClintock, Corona, Desert Vista, Desert Mountain, or excuse me, Desert Vista, Mountain Point, etc. But Tempe Union High Schools require 23 credits to graduate. And you can see that up here, 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of science, and so forth. If you're looking towards ASU, NAU, or U of A, they require 16 credits to graduate. A credit, of course, being a full academic year study. So for example, 4 full years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of science, 2 years of social study. The universities do not require physical education or health education, but they do require at least 1 year of fine arts or vocational training and 2 years of a foreign language for 16 credits total. So if you're looking to enter one of those 3 universities and you're looking to graduate from high school, you want to make sure that you've completed those 16 hours. I'm going to assume that many of you already know how to calculate your GPA. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but you're basically converting your grades to points, where an A counts as 4 points, a B as 3 points, C is 2 points, obviously an F you earn 0 points. If you're an honor student doing advanced placement classes, it's on a 5-point scale. So in some cases, you can see that GPA even exceed 4.0. If you get a mix of, for example, half A's and half B's, your GPA, for example, would be 3.5. Okay. Why should you keep your GPA up? Well, for one thing, a lot of the schools and programs that you may want to enroll in beyond high school will look for a competitive GPA. Second, and correlated with that, it's easier to get admitted to the school. And not just the school, but the program of your choice. And the third reason is more scholarships will be available to you. I mentioned a little bit earlier, there's this concept of what's called a merit-based scholarship. A merit-based scholarship is looking at your accomplishments, and GPA is one of those factors. With a strong GPA, it increases your likelihood of getting scholarships. I've had students that come to me saying, I have a 2.2 GPA. I know I can get, for example, a Pell Grant, but are there scholarships? And there may be some scholarships out there that are available with that kind of GPA, but they're going to be few and far between. Let's talk for a moment about guaranteed admissions. Again, bringing up ASU, U of A, and NEU. And across the board, these three universities have comparable admissions requirements that are set by what's called the Arizona Board of Regents that manages all three universities. If you just meet one of these three requirements and have those 16 core credits that I mentioned, you will automatically be admitted to the university. Top 25% of your graduating class, a 3.0 GPA in those 16 credits, or if you don't have that GPA, you can earn that by taking an ACT and earning 22 or higher, or the SAT exam and earning 1120 or higher. Now, footnote on this, some university degree programs have higher level requirements. Now, I can speak to this, for example, at ASU, if you're looking to enter the W.P. Carey School of Business or the Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering, they do set a higher bar, a higher set of requirements. Another good example is the three universities all have an honors college that not only are going to require a higher GPA or higher test scores, but they're also going to have you write an essay talking about your accomplishments beyond just having earned a good GPA. Community colleges may be less expensive, maybe. If you're just looking to earn a 2-year degree and not go on for 4 years of college, yes, community college is going to be less expensive, but with some of the scholarships offered by the universities, and not just ASU, U of A, or NAU, Benedictine and Mesa, Grand Canyon University, universities that you may be thinking about out of state that offer incentives and scholarships. One of the things that is a footnote about entering the community colleges is they have what they call the AccuPlacer placement test, and that helps them figure out where to place you for English, math, and reading. This is a requirement in the Maricopa community colleges, such as Mesa Community College, South Mountain Community College, and so forth. One of the things the community colleges offer is this thing called the President's Honors Scholarship. If you have a 3.25 GPA or higher, and you're looking to go into the community college, they basically will cover your tuition for 15 credit hours for 4 consecutive semesters. That will earn you a 2-year degree in a community college at no cost to you. Again, that's with a 3.25 GPA or higher. Also, the community colleges have what they call the pathway programs. So you can enter the community college, setting your sights, for example, to go to U of A or NEU or whatever. And if you enter that pathway program, they will guarantee you admissions into the university, and they'll also guarantee that your credits will transfer into that university. Provided, of course, that you stick with the major that you declare when you first enter the program. GPA isn't everything. I really want to encourage you, and this is part of my poll question about, if you're junior, is it too early to plan for college? So important, as you'll find when you start to apply for scholarships, The scholarships are going to ask you to write an essay and talk about your accomplishments. What is it you've done beyond just going to class? Have you joined clubs? Have you volunteered in school? Have you done an internship or done volunteer work in the community or other types of community service? So any opportunity you can find, and you know, it's on the good side, it's wonderful that we're in the summer. Unfortunately, this summer, due to the pandemic, some of those volunteer positions are quite limited. But I encourage you, find any opportunity through school or outside of school to get involved. Take on a job if you're unable to do an internship this summer or a volunteer position. It's also important to network. Building relationships, for example, with your teachers in school or business contacts that you may have met through jobs and volunteer opportunities. Learning from your mistakes. I think we all can safely say we've made mistakes. I could probably spend the rest of the hour talking about mistakes I made when I was in school. But at least demonstrating that you're improving. You may not have done volunteer work or internships, but you're looking to do that now. You didn't do so well in your sophomore or freshman year, but you're improving. And that's something you can talk about as you seek employment or seek a scholarship. Use this opportunity too to visit colleges and universities you're interested in. Again, because of the pandemic, so many of the schools don't have tours that you can actually go and visit, but you can bring up their websites and find virtual tours at virtually any university or school that you're thinking of attending. What I think is equally important is that you use this opportunity, use this time to set goals, which is really a segue into the next couple of slides. I think hopefully by now, all of you have heard of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan stole my heart in 1993 when the Chicago Bulls beat the Phoenix Suns in the playoffs. And Michael Jordan was really the best basketball player, at least at that time. And he has this book out, I Can't Accept Not Trying, in the Pursuit of Excellence. And I feel like he had a few quotes in here that I highlighted on this slide. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this last one, if your goal is to become a doctor and you're getting C's in biology, first thing you have to do is focus on getting B's and then getting A's. So what we want to do is break down these goals and set measurable goals that are achievable. Okay. He says, I knew exactly where I wanted to go and I focused on getting there. As I reached these goals, they built on one another. When he got cut from the varsity team in high school, he didn't say, I'm going to be the best NBA star ever. He set incremental goals. You may have heard of SMART goal setting: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Again, break it down into small, manageable chunks. Something I'd like to ask of all the participants this summer is find at least 3 scholarships that in the coming year you could apply for. Okay, that's a measurable goal and that's a manageable chunk. Find 3 scholarships that you realistically could apply for. Or in a moment, I'm going to start talking about financial aid. And one of the things is Part of financial aid is you'll complete a FAFSA. If you're going into your senior year, it's too early to do your FAFSA, but what you could do is create your FSA ID now. So make these goals real, display them. I don't know how many of you ever set New Year's resolutions, and by January 3rd, you forgot what those resolutions were. Put them somewhere, write them down so that they're front and center and you remember them. And talk to your friends, talk to your parents, talk to your colleagues at work and say, here's my goal. I'm going to find 3 scholarships this summer to apply to, and have them hold you accountable for that. And then last but not least, do the work and pursue your dreams with a passion. All right, now we'll talk about financial aid. What is financial aid? It's money to help you pay for college. And financial aid comes in 4 different flavors: scholarships, grants, work study, and student loans. My objective at Tempe High is to emphasize the first 2 and hopefully diminish the need for the last one, student loans. Almost every student is eligible for some type of financial aid. If you're undocumented, we could have a conversation aside from this, and I could tell you about opportunities to pay for your college, even being undocumented. Students do have to apply every year. There are exceptions to that, but most scholarships or your FAFSA will have to be done every year. I shared this 24 billion. Think about that number. $24 billion goes unused every year in the US. Arizona alone, $65 million being unused. So scholarships, how perfect is this? This is money you don't have to pay back. You want to apply early into many scholarships. I am still getting emails from students at Tempe High asking, you know, I graduated this year. I heard you come talk to my class. Are there any scholarships left that I can apply for? You're going to find a lot of those scholarship deadlines will come up in December, January, and February of this coming year. So if you're looking to start college in fall 2021, a lot of those scholarships are going to have cutoffs. For example, January 15th of next year. And you want to make sure that you apply for as many scholarships as you can before then. Some are awarded based on merit, means good GPA or good accomplishments like you've done community service. Need-based, meaning that your family has a financial need, and without that award, you wouldn't be able to afford to go to college. Based on a skill, based on a hobby. There are scholarships out there. For example, I found one for a student who likes to ride motorcycles. There are scholarships out there for people that are left-handed. People that play ping pong very well. There's scholarships based on your financial family history, athletic scholarships and your writing ability. Often, most of these scholarships are going to ask for an essay. There are exceptions to that. A lot of them do require it. They want you also to demonstrate leadership and community service. So where do you find these scholarships? If you're going to a high school in the Tempe Union High School district, I would say the starting point is Naviance, which is an interface that all of you should have access to. You log into your Tempe Union email and then hit the 9 dots in the upper right-hand corner and navigate into Naviance. And they've got a great search tool. College Depot in Phoenix, College Connect. Also, college websites. You know, for example, if you're targeting NAU, go look at NAU's website and see what scholarships they have. Then there's this thing called Raise.me. If you haven't been introduced to Raise.me through your high school, I'd encourage you, even this summer, set a goal. Like Michael Jordan, get on Raise.me. Raise.me offers micro scholarships. In other words, you earn an A in biology and you get like a small incremental scholarship towards a particular university. All right, second, federal grants. And I actually just saw an email the other day and updated this slide. The federal Pell Grant is going up this year, $6,345 annual maximum for the 2020-2021 school year. Many students I worked with at Tempe High got the full federal Pell Grant. Think about that. That's an automatic, never have to pay back $6,300 a year. Okay? They don't have to write an essay. They don't have to demonstrate a certain GPA or a certain accomplishment. That is just $6,300 right off the bat for being a US citizen and having the financial need. There are other federal grants. I'm not going to really go into detail on those. Pell Grant is really the major one. Third is federal work study. This is earning money while working, typically on-campus jobs, sometimes in the community. And the employment, the job, if you get federal work study, instead of instead of the university having to pay your salary, it's paid by the federal government. How good is that? You're serving a purpose, you're doing a job on campus, you're getting paid for it, and the US government is paying for your work. Some of those jobs at ASU, for example, sometimes are computer programming jobs in the information technology group. They could be working as a lifeguard or working at the front counter of the rec center. They could be a residence hall assistant and a variety of other jobs. The important thing about federal work study is when you complete your FAFSA, and I'm sure all of you will do your FAFSA, when you complete your FAFSA, there's a question on there. Do you want to be considered for work study? Even if you're not sure, just answer yes. Because if you answer no, even if you qualify for it, you will not be eligible. And then last and least favorable are student loans. And student loans get much more complicated than this, but I kind of group them into two categories: subsidized and unsubsidized. Subsidized means the government is at least going to pay the interest while you're in college. Once you graduate, subsidized and unsubsidized loans look very much the same. You will have to pay them back. A lot of people pay them back over many years after graduating. So we really want to emphasize other means of paying for your education to minimize. May not be able to completely eliminate, but at least minimize the amount that you've got to take out in a loan. So the first step to apply for financial aid, whether we're talking loans, work study, grants, and scholarships, is the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. FAFSA, if you're looking to start college in fall 2021, FAFSA will open up on October 1st, 2020. So I was doing this presentation for some classes at Tempe High last September, and I had a couple students that raised their hand and said, "What time on October 1st?" And I really wanted to hug those students that were so proactive. They said, well, we're going to be the first in, and we're going to do our FAFSA on October 1st. Okay? Always use FAFSA.gov. There are some commercial websites that say, we'll help you with FAFSA. You don't have to pay to complete the FAFSA. Look at that first word in the acronym FAFSA, free application. Through College Connect, through your high school counseling staff, people that do what I do in the high school, we can help you with the FAFSA. We will host FAFSA nights or FAFSA events at the library to help with these things, okay? The other thing from the school perspective is this is the best predictor of college entry for high school seniors, because it really reveals. I've had so many students that came to me said, I earned a full Pell Grant. I never thought I would be able to afford college, but now I can. First step to doing the FAFSA is create this FSA ID, the Federal Student Aid ID. It's your username and password. I can't overemphasize whatever you set as your username and your password, put it somewhere safe. Don't forget it. You'll need it next time you log in. Now, not just you as a student, but one of your parents will have to create an FSA ID too. And the reason a parent needs to create an FSA ID is because that's how you electronically sign the FAFSA. So you'll electronically sign it using your FSA ID, and one of your parents, either your mother or father or a legal guardian, will also need to electronically sign it. If for some reason neither of your parents are able to electronically sign it, for example, neither parent has a social security number, then there is a form you can print out and your parent can sign it and you can mail it back into the U.S. Department of Education. FSA ID, you can go as soon as this webinar is over. Don't do it while I'm still talking. Wait till I'm done. But you can go create your FSA ID today and be that much further ahead for this fall. Let me talk for a moment about the FAFSA sections, because sometimes this gets people feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Login. You log in with your FSA ID and password. You provide information about you as a student, your name and address, your age, and social security number, and things like that. School selection. You can list up to 10 schools, up to 10 colleges on the FAFSA. If you're not sure where you want to go to college, fill it up, list all 10. Or if you change your mind after completing your FAFSA, you can go back and remove one of those 10 and add another school. Dependency status. Dependency status is, who do you live with? Do you live with both parents? Do you live with your mother or father? How many other siblings do you have? How many are in college? Things of that nature. Okay, then they want information about your parents. And then financial information. I think this is the part that gets people a little bit uncomfortable, because they will ask, how much money did you earn? How much money did your parents earn? How much did they put and report on their tax return? If you're entering college in the fall 2021, you'll want to make sure that if you earned money and your parents earned money, that they filed taxes for the year 2019. Currently, we're asking people, we need your taxes from 2018, but next year would be 2019 taxes. Okay. They'll also ask if you have assets. Do you have money in the bank? Do you own a second home or a boat or something of that sort? Sign and submit, and then confirmation. After you've completed the FAFSA, within, like, I think it's usually about 3 to 5 business days, you get back what's called a student aid report. And it will tell you how much financial aid the government will offer you, how much of a Pell Grant will be offered. So if you're entering your sophomore year or your junior year, and for I guess really for that matter, entering your senior year, here are some goals I want you to think about for the summer and beyond. Search for scholarships, especially if you're entering your senior year. Make sure that you have picked out 3 this summer that you know you're going to apply for, even more if you're willing. I had a student I worked with at Tempe High this past year, and the other day she shared a Google spreadsheet with me listing all of the scholarships she applied for in her senior year. I think, if I remember correctly, there were 36 scholarships on there. She is not taking out any loans. She's got a full ride to college because of all of her scholarships. Visit colleges. Again, visiting colleges at this point is going to have to be a virtual visit. And maybe this summer, some of the colleges will open up so you can tour the campuses. But as of right now, you can get a real feel for the university or the college by looking at their tours online. Get involved, looking for volunteer opportunities, join clubs, do internships. Keep your grades up. Or if your grades aren't up, look at how you can improve them. Along those lines, also, if you're concerned about your GPA, think about preparing over the summer to take your SAT or ACT exam, which would better position you not just to get entered to the or admission to the university of your choice, but also better empower you to get a scholarship. Prepare your resume. If you don't already have a resume, and Adrian talked about that, that's something that College Connect can assist with, is preparing a scholarship. Start thinking about your career choices. What is it you want to do as a career? And that may help guide what major you want to consider while you're in college. Ask for help. College Connect through the Tempe Library, reaching out to myself or Adrian. I included my email there. But also you'll find your counseling staff at the high schools, and your teachers are often great resources, and if you ask, are often willing to help you. Okay, I think that's the last slide. And I want to leave that up so my email address is up there. So with that, Adrian, I'm not quite sure how to see whether there's questions.
Hey, Roger. Yeah, we got a couple questions, and what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen. The questions we got earlier, I posted them. So I will let's see, get that showing. Okay, I think you see that. And
so say if you graduated and you still wish to apply for scholarships. Oops, went by too fast.
sorry there. There we go.
Could you still apply even though you're not in a school? Yes, yeah, a lot of the scholarship have deadlines that close, like I said, in December, January, February. Some have extended deadlines. If you're not in a school, I assume, for example, that you already graduated. If you're not going to go to school in the fall, perhaps you're thinking then of taking a gap year and entering college in the fall 2021. And you could look at those same scholarships that any incoming freshman would look at and consider as entry to a school. Is work study based on financial need? Yes, it is. So if your family is earning a lot of money and you do not qualify for a Pell Grant, chances are you won't qualify for work study either. That's not to say you can't work at your school. So, and I'll speak to ASU, for example. ASU has on-campus jobs. Some of them are limited to only work-study applicants, but a lot of those jobs are open to anybody to apply to.
All right, Roger, those are the two that I have posted. Let me just double check if you have any more. Okay, those are all the questions. And what I'd like to remind everybody is if you do want to get into the raffle right now, we're doing a minute, you can put your name and email in the question answer box. So I'll give you just a moment to do that. And I'm going to put up our contact information while we're waiting. Roger, I want to thank you again for your time and sharing with students things to keep in mind while they're planning and preparing for paying for college. A reminder to everyone as well, this is part 1 of our planning and paying for college. We will have part 2 next Friday, the 19th, and we're going to have a couple presenters from our in-state universities that we partner with. We'll have someone from NAU and ASU, and they'll have some more specific information, delve in a little bit deeper of what Roger spoke about. But our partners, they do also give general information as well. It won't be just exclusively about those particular schools.
I've seen their presentation. It's very good. I highly recommend it.
And once again, when I send the email, you will get Roger's information. So if you do have questions, you want to follow up with Roger, something you didn't think about, feel free to reach out to him. I'm going to check our wheel. Okay. So we have one name submitted so far. If we have one by default, that person will be the winner. If anyone else wants to get in. All right. Well, with that said, we won't have to go into a raffle. We actually will give the prize to our attendee, Ashley. Congratulations, Ashley. Thank you for sending us your email. You'll be getting a follow-up email from us on the details of getting the gift card. So once again, I want to thank you all for participating. As I mentioned, we have a few more workshops going on this summer, so please be sure to check them out. You can go on our website. Oops, a little bit of funny there. With that said, everybody have a good day. We hope to see you next time.